Very good morning. Let's see if we can get this right. I guess the dog toy doesn't need to be there. All right. We had an issue with getting my head cut off, so we gotta watch that. Get the. And we'll start here on time. I think this will be okay. Ooh, let's get that sun out of my face. I don't want to be looking like I'm trying to make myself to be a singer. I'm in another house here. All right. But you might need that. Very good morning. 7:59. We'll start on time, but I'm just chatting to you as we settle in. I found out that there's folks that actually watch this class. So it's nice to meet y'all. I thought I was just blowing smoke into the wind, but it's nice to meet y'all. And I don't even know any of you, so if anytime you want to reach out, I'd love to know who you folks are, who's out there, what you like, what you don't like. I'm just a Jersey kid. All right, 8 a.m., very good morning, welcome. Comeback Yoga. And Comeback Yoga is a very important organization. They do so much for so many. And so Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit organization that provides free yoga classes and training for veterans up and down the Front Range of Colorado and from the Eastern Plains and all the way to the Western Slopes and everything in between. And if this inspires you, come to a class in person, come to the class online. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. And what else do they say? If you got time and if you got resources, if you can share anything, they sure could use your help. And many hands make light work. And we got a big set of folks we can take care of. All right, so it's a real honor and pleasure to be here. So today we are focused on the upper body and breath. That is our focus of the month, is breath. And from the yoga perspective, breath is prana. Prana. And prana is life. Okay. How long are you going to live in this existence, in this nervous system, in this body, without having a breath? Not very long. And so it's the most important. The most important. So if we can cultivate the breath within the practice, then we can cultivate the breath throughout the rest of the day. Let's see what happens. Okay, cultivating the breath in a way that helps the nervous system to work at in a more optimal level. All right. So let's see what we can do. Parasympathetic nervous system. That's what we're targeting. I'm just realizing that I might have a sound issue if I don't have this plugged in. So I'm going to plug it in just to make sure. I don't think it will be an issue. I hope there's no issue, but we're going to do it anyway. All right. Thank you for your patience. All right. So breath. All right. Let's learn a couple of breaths and why. Okay. For one, for the most part, within this practice, all right, we're only going to be using a couple of different breaths. All right. And there's many different ways of doing it. But the first I want to show you in the way that I'd invite you to work through the practice for the most part, unless I say, is to breathe in through the nostril and out through the nostril. In through the nostril and out through the nostril. And no pausing in the breath cycle. So let's take a couple of breaths. No pausing in the breath cycle. In through the nostril, out through the nostril. There's a smooth inhale and a natural smooth exhale. Draw your shoulders back and down, lengthen through the back of the neck, broaden through the collarbone. Even if you're sitting comfortably in a chair or leaning on something, something to make you comfortable, still draw your shoulders back and down, lengthen through the back of the neck, broaden through the collarbone. Let the head just naturally come within the center of gravity. All right, in through the nostril and out through the nostril. No pausing in the breath cycle. That is the breath cycle. Okay. The other way that I want to show you, and we'll do it here at some point here, but in through the nostril and then out through pursed lips. Or you can hum. Okay, so let's do both. Okay, in through the nostril and then out through pursed lips, like you're going to blow out a candle that's a couple feet in front of you. Breath in through the nostril and exhale through pursed lips. This is dropping the heart rate. Just like if you were on a tractor on a farm, you can use different gears to rev up the engine in different ways. And we can do the same in our nervous system by controlling the breath. Not controlling the rhythm. That's not the right term. I would say being in touch with the breath. Being in touch with the breath. In through the nostril, out through pursed lips. That will drop your heart rate. The other way is to hum. Hum. So let's do a couple hums. All right. I know there's, this is actually a real yogic pranayama. It's called pranayama humming bee. And so in through the nostril, and then this is all vagus nerve stimulation. And you let that hum go all the way down. And then just don't do anything. Just take a natural breath in and just notice any pleasant sensations with the humming. Okay. That's another way of stimulating the vagus nerve and dropping the heart rate. But you'll hear me say in through the nostril and out through pursed lips. So those are a couple of ways to control the heart rate in the nervous system. No pausing in the breath cycle, and then in through the nostril and out through pursed lips. Okay. When you breathe in through the nostril and out through the nostril with no pausing in the breath cycle, the animal mind will slow way down. Okay, you will be way more present. All right, just watch and see. Okay, your sense of time changes. All right. All right. So breath. Breath is prana, is life. Without it, we do not last very long. We can use our breath in a way to manage the biochemical output of this nervous system. Is that cool or what? I think it's cool. I think it's cool. All right, let's go ahead and work with the practice, okay, and the breath. All right. Lengthen through the back of the neck, broaden through the collarbone. Let's go ahead and start working on the neck. Working on the neck. Looking over to the left. Now, as you're looking over that left shoulder, it seems, just notice a nice stretch. And then you want to look your eyeballs to the left. Big breath in through the nostril. And then look your eyeballs to the right. Exhale through pursed lips. Breath into the nostril looking left. Let it go looking right. And then come back to center. And then looking over the next, over the other side. Chin over the top of the shoulder. In through the nostril. Now you're going to lift your eyeballs to the right. Big breath into the nostril. Looking you're looking your whole head and then your eyeballs to the right, and then look your eyeballs to the left. Big breath into the nostril, and let it go. And then back to center. And then now, pardon me, looking up, lifting the chin, lifting up through the sternum, and the head lifts up, and the chin lifts up, and breathe, and breathe. And then come back to center. And then tucking the chin, you're just going to drop the head, just let the head hang, and you have this compression of the thyroid. And breathe, and then come back up. No pausing in the breath cycle. Well done. And then a couple head movements here. Let's go ahead and head movements. So looking your head over to the left, and then you're going to drop the chin coming up, and you're looking over to the right. And then drop the chin, looking over to the right. And then now looking up, coming up and over to the other side. And then looking up, coming up and over to the other side. And then head back into center. And then let's do some cat-cows. Warming up the spine, working on the spine. Everything is a spine out. Spine, most important. So let's do some cat-cows. I'll give you a side profile. And we will work on a little warming up, and then we'll get into the shoulders. All right, so the cow, that's it. Lifting up through the sternum, lifting up. And then on the exhale, tucking the chin and pressing the forehead towards the ankles. All right. And then right back into the inhale and into the exhale. No pausing in the breath cycle, no pausing in the movement cycle. And you want to make it feel good. No pausing in the breath cycle and making it feel good. Okay. This undulation of the spine, this working of the spine is so important. It transcends almost all, what do I say, practices, health practices across all cultures is working the spine. Okay, and then come on back up. I'll come back to center. And we'll open up the shoulders. Open up the shoulders. All right, so our goalposts. And then you just want to reverse it. And there we are. And then back into the goalpost. And reverse. And back in. And reverse. And back into. You just go. And then you watch us link up the breath with the movement. On the inhale, in through the nostril. And then we'll let it go right into the exhale. And you just link the movement and the breath. Now the practical thing is if you do it here in the practice, you can link breath and movement in your life. Okay, yes to that. Notice any sensations. And then the arms up, back into the goalpost. And then we're gonna bring them together and then open up. Bring them together and open up. So same type of thing. So you can contract and then right onto the inhale, right into the movement. Linking that breath and movement. That is vinyasa. That is vinyasa. Vinyasa is flow. Linking breath and movement. And then come back. Come back to stillness. Notice any sensations. Okay, here we go. We're going to top. We're going to grab that extra elbow. Or grab that opposite elbow and then press into the elbow, into the fingers at a 10% effort. And just pressing for 7 seconds. I'm counting, and we'll do it 3 times. A little PNF stretching, and then relax. And then 7 seconds. Go ahead and press into the fingers. Breathing. No pausing in the breath cycle. And then relax. And then one more time. This PNF stretching is a great way of just releasing that fascial system. And then relax and give yourself some organic movement. Shake that out. And let's do the other side. And then pressing into the fingertips, pressing. 10% effort, forcing anything, you're just looking for pleasant sensations, relax. And then pressing. And then relax and release. And then press. And release. And then you can offer yourself some organic movement there. And then across. And grab that shoulder, coming into the shoulder, and then pressing into that hand. No pausing in the breath cycle, but you're pressing 10% into the hand, and then release and relax. And then pressing. And then let that go. And then press. And release. And any organic movement that feels like it would serve you, and then the other side, and then not forcing anything, but pressing in 10% into that hand. No pausing in the breath cycle. Look for play, relax. Second set of 7. And relax. And then another. And relax that. And okay. And then let's give ourselves a little twist. So twisting up and over to the left. You want to take your left hand, put it on the tailbone, and your hand comes to the knee and lifting up and over. So lifting up through the top of the head on the inhale, and on the exhale, pressing over to the left. No pausing in the breath cycle. And release. And then left hand to the outside of the right. And right hand. And then looking up and over. And breathing. No pausing in the breath cycle. And release. All right. And then the next exercise, I know it's also a lower body exercise, but it really does help for the whole upper body to relax and give that space in the spine, and that is a wide-legged squat. Very important. We're only going to do like, I don't know, 45 seconds, maybe. All right, but really, you really do want to be here for like 2 minutes. I would suggest 2 minutes a day. That would be my professional from the perspective of the yoga instructor. 2 minutes a day. It will let the hips relax, the pelvic girdle will open up, and more importantly, the spine will start to elongate, giving some space in that vertebra and the lower back. I get lots of students that say, I do this every day, and my lower back tissue, I feel better. I say I feel better. Okay? I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor, I'm just saying. All right? So, once you get here, now even if you have to use a block or set yourself up, you want to look for pleasant sensations. You don't want to force anything. All right? Now that's about where I was looking at, and then go ahead and straighten out the legs. You can straighten out the legs and then give a little bit of a. All right. Yeah. Should feel good. Increase oxygen, release the fascial system, neutral observation. These three elements in the practice, that's what we're looking for. All right. So the next one, again, it's a lower body, but it's for the upper body too, and that is child's pose. So find yourself where the knees are wide and the toes are touching, and then just let the torso come down to the mat, and then the forehead comes to the mat, the arms reach out, and breathe. And breathe. This is another one good for the back. And then start making your way up. And then let's go ahead and come to a seated position. All right, so we did all that. Opening up now we want to just finish stimulating the cranial nerves and the glands. All right. So this is a way to do it. Okay. Give yourself a hug right on the upper left. All right. That's oxytocin into the brain. Keep your nose nice and straight. We're going to be moving the eyeballs left and right, up and down. All right. So nose nice and straight. Giving yourself a hug with your eyeballs to the left. Big breath in through the nostril. And then exhale through pursed lips, looking right. Breath in through the nostril, looking left. And let it go, looking right. And then switch it up, left arm. And then this time, your nose nice and straight, looking straight up. Big breath in through the nostril, looking up. And then let it go, looking down. Breath in through the nostril, looking up. Let it go, looking down. And you just check it out. And then the next one is we're going to link the left and right hemisphere of the brain and stimulate the hypothalamus. It's a gland in your brain, and it is the gland that when it's stimulated, that we are present here now. And then let's go ahead and give a little tap. This is giving a little calm check, left and right hemisphere of the brain. We need both. Snapping tap, looking left, turning off the TV. I call this turning off the TV. Look at the TV in there. All right, and just turn it off. And then just be still for a moment. Look at the TV in there. What do you notice? Can you notice that the mind is becoming still? You're just present here now, content. Thumbs on the temple, and then just a little massage on the forehead. This is your prefrontal lobe, your neocortex. Curiosity, openness, allowing and loving. Okay? Curiosity, openness, allowing and loving. What's another way of thinking of this? What's another way of thinking of this? Okay? And a little tap on the hand. Right up the other arm. And then go ahead and tap. And you just, if you're sitting or wherever you're at, you just tap. And you touch the left shoulder to the right knee, right shoulder to the left knee. Crisscross, applesauce. And then the bones of the face. Tapping the bones of the face half a dozen times. Cheekbone. Cheekbone. Collarbone. And then thymus, hands on the back, adrenal glands, give a little, I love this one, I do a big organic breath every time. All right, and then tapping the forehead right over the top of the head. All right, shoulders back and down, lengthen through the back of the neck, broaden through the collarbone. Notice your relaxed attentiveness, your awareness, your presence here now, content, at peace. No pausing in the breath cycle. This will allow that animal brain to relax. Being in the prefrontal lobe, curious, open, allowing, and loving. I say, why not? Throughout your whole day, look for the sweet spot in everything you do, that 4, 5, 6 level of engagement when you are engaged yet relaxed. And then throughout the day, look for pleasant sensations, such as any opportunities for the body to relax, big organic breaths, or any opportunities for the mind to just be still and you find yourself to be present here, now, content, at peace. In the breath throughout the day, I invite you to use your breath as a way to be curious, at peace, here, now, authentic. I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me today, from one veteran to another, and all those that care for us, love us, and support us. Namaste.